Hello there again, friends. Today is 12/19/2021. This is Sunday, and this is day 21 of the Odin Vlog project. Um, I had my Christmas on my side yesterday, and that went really well. So thank you for the comments, the kind comments in the last video. Wishing me a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, and Merry Christmas to you as well. It's a little early. I've got several more to celebrate this upcoming weekend. Um, and we're back in the saddle here Sunday to do an upload here. So with that, let's get going. So we're in the alignment here yet, and we stopped at number 3. So we're at typical use cases for Flexbox. It's another MDN article. Um, it just says don't skip it. You know you're gonna want to because it's just kind of review of what we've already been talking about in the last couple videos. It says don't skip the interactive sections. Playing around with this stuff is how you learn it, and that is true. And I did go through this section verbatim and did all the exercises in it. It's pretty repetitive. It's good to reinforce it. I will say the only thing I do want to highlight, top of footer, is media objects. We didn't talk about those yet, and I don't remember reading about them. It's quite possible that I just missed it, but so it just talks about media objects. It's a common pattern in web design. This pattern has an image or other element on one side and a text to the right. Ideally, a media object should be able to be flipped, moving the image from left to right. So they're just arguing that you should be able to take this and flip it either way, and it kind of basically behaves the similar as anything else, as any other flex item that we have. They're just keying in on doing this with media, like your images and stuff. We see this pattern everywhere used for comments and anywhere we need to display images and descriptions. With Flexbox, we can allow the part of the media object containing the image to take its sizing information from the image, and then the body of the media object flexes to take up the remaining space. In the live example below, you can see the media object. Excuse me. I've used the alignment properties to align the items on the cross axis to flex start, which is here, and then set content flex item to flex 1, which is right here. As with our column layout card pattern above, using flex 1 means this part of the card can grow. So they're just saying that just like anything else, so the content, which is I believe this part here, and then this media, the media class is the entire thing. Let's double check. Yep. So media is your overall, your parent, your container, and then image is one of the flex items, and then you have content as another flex item. So they're calling out the content flex item here of 1, and then setting the container as a flex and a flex start so that it starts on the left side of the container. Excuse me. So that's just talking about that. They're going in talking about, if anything else, you can define your pixels for your max width of the image within your CSS, and it will be honor if you put that in there. Flexbox will honor it and will not go above that maximum width, even if you have it set to flex auto. So saying in which case they would grow and shrink from the size of the content or any size applied directly to a flex item, such as a width on the image. And they're just showing this as an example, is if you would put this in addition to the previous example, that's how it would work. And then they're just talking about changing the flex size so that it flexes larger and smaller. The content here would be flexing 3 times the rate of the image. So you'll have, basically, if you're changing it around here, you'll have the content, the words will be 3 times the size of the image, just as an example. And they're talking about flipping it. as we've already learned, you could do they actually call it out, kind of interesting. So he calls it out as a subclass in media. So you have media and then flipped here, which is another class. So he has it called out here as a child class. Flex direction row, and then you can change that to, I believe they basically talk about column. Yep. Well, that flex direction, it kind of changes that content there, the location of it. So it changes it from left to right to top to bottom, right? Yeah, exactly. So, and that you can flip it. You can flip it the other way as well using that would be flex direction reverse, row reverse, excuse me, row dash reverse actually. Then we go into form controls. We hadn't really talked about this one yet either. So they have an example here of like an email address send bar essentially with a button, and so they're calling it wrapper. This whole container is called wrapper, and the class called wrapper, and it's display flex, and the wrapper input type text has a flex of 1 basically, and they define instead of 0 they put auto for the basis. So they went flex shrink grow 1, shrink 1, and auto basis, and they're applying that directly to the input, which is this box right here. So, and you can see that there in the HTML. So there's your class example. Here's your wrapper, and then inside the wrapper you have your type text, which is being called right here, and then that's how it's manipulated. And then they're saying you could also add a label in there, and they said you could add a label or icon to the left as easily as we pop the button on the right. I have added a label, and other than some styling from the background color, I didn't need to change the layout. The stretchy input field now has a little less space to play with, but it uses the space left after the 2 items are accounted for because it's a flex. That's what they're basically saying, is because you have it says flex and you're telling it to grow and shrink at the same time, it allows for that to be entered in there. And that's why you didn't have to do anything to CSS. You just plop that new input type in there. Sorry, up above here. There's your label. Label for text, label, there you go, and close tag label. So then it pops it in there, and it sizes it due to the flex and the type text coming in there. So it's basically combining that with that to make that work. And then there's the conclusion. And then the last part is basically a tips and tricks. It's a very comprehensive guide. I won't go through it, but basically it goes over, and I've bookmarked it, as you can see here, for future use, because I can see this being very, very useful. And this goes over basically everything that has anything to do with flex. I like it because I'm a visual learner, like I've told you guys before, visual and a doer. That's how I best learn. I don't learn the best from reading, but this is good reinforcement for me. I didn't read through all this, but I perused the pictures and everything just to get an idea of what the page is about. But yeah, it's really cool to see what everything does and what it's used for and how it works if you were to implement it. So that's pretty cool, and it shows you what it would look like syntactically. And it just does that for basically everything. You guys will get the idea. You can peruse through that on your own time as you're going through the program. And then we come down to practice. It says, when doing the following exercises, please use all the documentation and resources you need to accomplish them. You are not intended to have any of this stuff memorized at this point. Thank goodness, because like I said, I still only feel like I only know about 20% of what I need to know. And that's okay. I'm not beating myself up. Gotta be nice to yourself. So it says, check the docs, use Google, do what you need to do besides checking the solutions, of course, to get them done. It says go back to our CSS repo you've already done previously, but don't forget about the instructions in the README. Do the exercises in the Flex directory in the following order. So I went ahead and did Flex Center. So when it says it may take you a while to get through all of them and the difficulty ramps up as you progress, stick with it. If you can get through all of them, then you will be in really good shape moving forward. And so I went ahead and did the Flex Center. So let's go over and head over to that. So let me blow this up for you guys a little bit. Alright, so here's your O1 Flex Center. It says this one is simple, but it's something that you'll want to do all the time. Might as well get it out of the way now. All you need to do is center the red div inside the blue container, as we see over here for the desired outcome. And it says, is the div centered, and did you only use Flexbox to center it? So there's that. And so here's the, I always make a habit, even though we're not doing anything in HTML right now, I always make it a habit to, this is really hard to read because I got it blowing up here for you guys, but I always like to see what we're working with, you know. So we have our first class, and it's class called container, and that's as it sounds, so that's our parent container. And then we have our class box, which is our flex item, and inside of our parent container, it says center this div. So container and item, or excuse me, box. Box is your flex item. And then over here you have, there's your container, and there's your box, and there's the stuff that comes with it that basically makes it look like that. So if you go out to the, if you drag that HTML file out, you'll get this right here, and we'll just do it together. So it's real easy. I didn't cheat. I got through it. I had to go back to that. I used this help guide here, and did a little bit of reading to make sure I had it right, and I did end up getting it right. So we'll just go ahead and go do it here. So what you want to do is, all you have to do is center it. So we want to work on the container, not the flex item. It sounds counterintuitive to do that, but you definitely, for this exercise, you want to work on the, you want to have everything inside, which in this case just one individual item, which is the box. You want the box item to be centered. So here we have, yet if you notice, there is no flex there's no flex that has been defined. Sorry, yet. So we're going to do display flex, because we're going to tell CSS that we want to have a flex item, flex container. So here's your flex container now. We're now got that. Okay. And now because we've declared that, now we can declare our justifications. So we're going to do align items colon space center semicolon space enter, and then justify, and you can hit tab to complete if you want. Justify content, and we're going to do center with the colon on that. And what that does is the align, if you remember right, on the row is just defaults, is the default unless you change it. So on the rows, your line item is going to be your, it's going to align it vertically, and then your justify is going to align it horizontally. I know that, I think that's right, pretty sure. I'm still not completely clear on that. If I'm wrong, please mention that in the comments. I may have those flipped, but I know those are the two that you need. And so I'm going to hit Control S to save it, and that white dot went away, meaning it's saved. And then we're going to go over here, and we're going to go to center this div and hit the refresh button, and there it is. Bada bing, bada boom. You see I have a flex header here. I won't click on that just yet. So That's the actual next exercise. So now that we completed this, I did go ahead and attempt O2 flex header, but I basically got stuck. I started doing it and I kind of ran out of time, and I was trying to get it done for this video to be able to record it, but we're already at 15 minutes here, so I'm kind of glad that I didn't finish it. But I was kind of spinning a little bit in circles, so I decided to take a break from that one, and we'll hit that up tomorrow. Usually I don't record on Mondays, but my personal things I have to normally take care of on Mondays are not happening tomorrow. So I should be able to upload tomorrow, so I should be able to get back to this, and we'll do O2 Flex Header tomorrow. I will caveat and say I am on call for work all this week, so I hope to do a video every day and be consistent this week like I normally am, but if I'm not, it's likely because I'm getting the crap beat out of me for my on-call week, because I'm on call 24/7 for the whole week, so for my team. So we'll see. If the Lord wills it, I will upload, and if it's quiet and the Lord wills it, I will upload every night and work on this. Otherwise, if I'm a little spotty on my consistency, then you know why at least. So anyway, that will kind of round out today. Like I said, we'll go ahead and do Flex Header tomorrow, and it's going to take, these are building in complexity as it said, so it's going to take us a bit to get through these. I'm not in any rush to get through them. I definitely want to have a very good understanding of Flex before we move on to anything else. So I hope you enjoyed the journey tonight. That's all I have, and yeah, I hope it was educational and a little fun for you at the same time. Let me know in the comments what you think, and please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you next time. See ya.